Hello everybody, it's Foxy speaking, and welcome to another episode of Foxy's Fun Inspirational Chats. And today I will be your host, and this episode is about Trevor the traffic warden. It was that once there was a nice peaceful village with some nice peaceful neighbouring cottages. Is unlikely a little village market in the village. In one of those village bungalows, an old-fashioned stone and thatch built bungalow, lived an elderly man. The elderly man's name was Trevor Renton. He's now retired, but he used to be a traffic warden. Sometimes with his roles being that varied greatly. Oh, hello, I am Trevor Renton. I used to be a traffic warden, but obviously I'm now retired due to old age. But I did it comprised of various roles and doing various different things being a traffic warden. But I have one story in particular that would be worth showing. And so this is how and this was one of Trevor Renton's stories one time whilst he was doing a particular duty as a traffic warden. There was a busy street where there were always cars, buses and taxi cabs and even bin lorries or possibly even large HGV lorries that always rumbled by along a zebra crossing. The zebra crossing was generally in need of a traffic warden, but different traffic wardens worked there at different times, different weeks, different months, dependent on the road type. The traffic warden in this case for the zebra crossing was a traffic warden posed as a lollipop man or lollipop lady holding a stop and go sign. If the traffic warden put in the stop sign which said stop for cars, meaning all cars and buses had to stop, or all transport had to stop, it permitted pedestrians to cross over the road as permitted by the traffic wardens. Most people Trevor sometimes found himself doing those duties. He loved it whenever he did the duty of helping people cross safely over the zebra crossing on the street he would sometimes work in, dependent on his work rota duties. He generally found everybody very polite, friendly and completely compliant with the ruling commands he would issue out. Although generally compliance was reasonably high, there was an exception one time. One day, as the young Trevor Renton was working in the busy street with the zebra crossing, there was trouble. After he just allowed some cars to go, even though there were not very many cars, there were two naughty boys on their way to school. They were running. Even though there were no cars going, and a car that just went by, once the car shot past the level crossing, they scrambled right across the road, almost being hit by a car, only the car missing the boys by inches. "Hey, boys! That was dangerous," Trevor shouted. "I didn't say you could cross, there was still a car coming." The boys were out of sight. And Trevor was most surprised and shocked with the non-compliance to the road safety. Those naughty boys. They should learn a lesson after they finish their school, Trevor said to himself. It was home time and school had finished. As Trevor was allowing the cars to drive again after they had to stop and to let some pedestrians going by, as the cars went by, he saw the two same boys once again. The boys saw Trevor. "Oh, it's that stupid traffic warden. Oh yeah, It's the absolute lame, stupid traffic warden. He's an idiot traffic warden, said the boy. Said the other boy. The boys were very, very naughty. And so, like they did when they crossed over the road, they shot right across the road, almost being hit by a car once again, and crossed the road to safety. God, that was a close one, the boy said. I think you're right to say that, said a stern voice. The boys looked up and it was Trevor. But the boys did not act intimidated with Trevor's stern words. I didn't permit you to cross. You can only cross the zebra crossing when the traffic warden permits you to. Before he could finish the sentence, one of the boys got out a jar of jam, opened the lid and splashed it right into his face. But little did the naughty boys know, a policeman was walking by and saw what they did. The policeman charged right over to the boys before they could run away and arrested and stopped the boys immediately. Put your hands up, said the policeman. You boys are under arrest for assault. And so the boys put their hands up, and the second police officer, who was on patrol with the other policeman, handcuffed them, and were taken to custody for questioning by police detectives at the police station forthwith and immediately. The boys thankfully did not face prosecution, but were luckily given a police caution since the police saw what they did to Trevor the traffic warden. Sometime later, Trevor saw the boys again after their school suspension was complete and they got their formal police caution and not prosecution. The boys this time looked like they were taking things more seriously. They looked at Trevor, this time looking a little sad. We're sorry, Mr. Traffic Warden, the boys said. We were stupid, but we know better as to follow road safety rules now. That's quite all right, Trevor said. Please, from now on, in future, follow the Green Cross Code and take road safety very seriously. We don't want you being hit by a car and going into the hospital or being killed worst, Trevor said. The boys knew that Trevor made an excellent point. And so, when Trevor stopped the cars because it was time for pedestrians to cross, the boys this time compliantly followed the rules, which pleased Trevor greatly. And whenever Trevor was working at the street again, if he saw the boys going to school, the boys followed the rules of the traffic warden, and certainly if he was on duty, with complete compliance. So that was the story. Obviously the boys are now grown up and obviously live their own lives and must have created their own families now. They were very naughty, those boys, I have to say at first, but after they got arrested, it really taught them a good hard lesson. Lessons learned, a lesson is something a good teacher hopes a student will become. A good learning good for learning lessons from mistakes and subjects. Trevor checked his watch and knew it was time for him to go out to bridge. So he walked out of his cottage and walked to the bus stop to get to the bridge. To the bus stop in order to get to his bridge club he goes to. And that is the end of the story. The end. Well, thanks everybody for watching this video. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Thanks all everybody for watching, and I shall certainly see you in the very next episode. Ta-ta, another time. from Foxy.